Yeah, well, yes, Julie, it was always going to be a matter of concern even before the trial begins proper on Tuesday. That is the case against Deputy President William Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang. And what we have found out today here at The Hague is that that concern is not only in Kenya, but is shared also here at The Hague, and specifically through the Kenyan embassy here. We spoke to the Kenyan ambassador, Rose McKenna, who says they are now in talks with the ICC to ensure that this does not happen. That is, to have President Kenyatta and Deputy President Ruto at the same time at The Hague for both to sit for the trials. This is what she had to say, Julie, in an earlier interview we did with her.
We have looked at it, and we have seen also that it has caused a lot of anxiety, even back home. What I would like to tell the Kenyans is that we are constantly talking to the court, even from here, and liaising with them. We understand this is an interim schedule. We do not envisage a situation where the court is going to have our deputy president and the head of state here in The Hague at the same time. And we will take that up with them and continue discussing with them and make sure that that is not done. We will expect the court to respect Kenya, and it's not a question of this time the legal process, but an administrative issue of reorganizing their schedule to take care of the Kenyan needs, because Kenya is celebrating 50 years of independence. So we do expect that that schedule will change.
Well, there you go, Julie. It's a matter of concern, definitely, and it'll be very interesting, of course, to see how this pans out. But again, it's worth noting that the ICC, when they were releasing the schedule, that said Ruto and President Kenyatta may be here at the same time at some point between November and December this year, was an interim one. So it may change. The ICC may give another schedule. Plus, we're still waiting for the appeals chamber to rule or to know whether they'll uphold a decision that was made by the trial chamber. Remember, the trial chamber had earlier granted William Ruto excuse not to attend all the sittings or the hearing of the trial, apart from the opening statements and closing statements, and others as may be directed by the judges. That was appealed by the prosecution, and so the appeals chamber is looking at that. If they uphold what the trial chamber said, that is, Ruto may be excused from attending all the sessions, then this may just fizzle out like that. We may never have President Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto at the same time at The Hague. Meanwhile, Joshua Arap Sang is already at The Hague. Francis Gashuri, my colleague, a senior reporter, caught up with him. Let's hear what he had to say.
The two Kenyan post-election violence cases kick off at the Hague-based International Criminal Court on Tuesday, with the commencement of trials against two of the three suspects. One of the two suspects, Joshua Arap Sang, arrived at the Schiphol International Airport in Netherlands 48 hours to the trial, accompanied by his defense team. The radio journalist, together with his co-accused Deputy President William Ruto, faced 3 counts of crimes against humanity charges: murder, persecution, and forcible eviction.
And we are ready for trials on Tuesday. My legal team, very ready. I'm confident myself that we are going to show the other side of the story. And we will, at the end of the day, be vindicated.
Sang's defense team was guarded on discussions around the strategies it would use to water down the prosecution's case.
The most that I can say is that we know the content of what is intended to be adduced by the prosecution. We are prepared to react to that. As to whether or not we know the witnesses and what kind of people they are, I would rather not answer that question.
Sang's co-accused, Kenya's second-in-command William Ruto, is expected at The Hague tomorrow afternoon. It's the first time in the history of the ICC for a sitting deputy president to be prosecuted. Their trial is expected to go on for 3 weeks, and Sang's stay at The Hague will be facilitated by the ICC through the Office of the Registrar.
Yeah, we will have about 10 days break. We would, of course, it is our desire that if at that moment we should be able to make a visit to Kenya to see our families, depending on resources.
And for the 38-year-old member of the fourth estate, his trial at the ICC remains a mystery, even though the prosecution alleges that he perpetrated the chaos that rocked the country in 2007-2008.
Yeah, I'm shocked because you can imagine these are the people who have been, taken to this court, people, warlords, presidents, and nobody, Arap Sang, somebody who has no criminal record in Kenya, and you are here in international court. You can imagine what that stands for.
Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda has lined up 40 witnesses to convince the trial chamber that Ruto and Sang had a role in the 2007-2008 post-election violence that claimed over 1,000 lives. The trial chamber in the Ruto-Sang case comprises 3 judges: Chile Ebuosuji, who will be the presiding judge, Olga Herrera Kalbucha, and Robert Fremer. The post-election violence cases that President Uhuru Kenyatta, his deputy William Ruto, and radio journalist Joshua Arap Sang face at the ICC have often been a subject of heated political debate, but the ICC maintains that this is purely a judicial process whose determination will be by the 2 trial chambers as soon as the defense teams and the prosecution team have had their day in court. Francis Gashuri, Sunday Live at The Hague, Netherlands.
Well, Deputy President William Ruto is expected here tomorrow later in the afternoon. He's leaving Kenya in the morning. We gather a host of MPs, members of parliament from the National Assembly, that is, will be also coming tomorrow to show solidarity with the Deputy President, slightly under 30 MPs. What we gather from the Kenyan embassy here is that the Deputy President will be accorded security by the Dutch government now because of his status. The last time he was here, he was an Eldred North MP, but now he's a Deputy President, so he'll be accorded that, plus other facilities including access to VIP lounges and traffic control when he's moving up and about. Some senators were also supposed to come, but we talked to Senate Majority Leader Professor Kithure Kindiki, who said that has been put on hold for a while. The agreement is that first they debate the motion on withdrawing from the Rome Statute on Tuesday at the Senate. Then after that they can come. But even then, he says, due to the smaller number of senators relatively to the number of National Assembly members, they will be coming here for very short periods, about 2 to 3 days, because of other the rest of the deliberations they'll be taking on, or they'll be discussing in the Senate actually. So we expect Deputy President William Ruto here tomorrow. We'll be covering this for you live again tomorrow. We're also expecting the first press briefing ahead of the trial proper on Tuesday. The first press briefing by all the parties, including the ICC represented by the registry, plus the prosecution, the defense, and the legal representative of victims tomorrow. Julie, it's back to you.